There are some video games that define a generation. There's also these games that change the trajectory of like an entire industry. We think Halo actually did both of those. It wasn't just a sequel, it was a leap. A bigger story, sharper gameplay, online multiplayer that basically rewrote the rules of this genre. And now with talk and speculation around a full Halo 2 remake right now, not just a remaster like Anniversary per se, but a ground up rebuild, that idea hits different. Because this thing ain't just about polishing what already existed before, it's about rebuilding one of the most important shooters it's ever made for a completely different era. Here's the thing guys, the Halo 2, the original game had ambition like pouring out of every corner. Dual protagonists, a split story that just split perspectives between Master Chief and the Arbiter, and also a narrative that wasn't afraid to get political, philosophical, and honestly kind of bold for its time. That structure was risky pretty much back then, and it still feels unique now. A remake has the chance to lean into that fully, to flesh out those parallel stories with modern storytelling tools without losing the pacing that made it hit so hard in the first place. Like imagine those same moments but with today's technology. The Covenant cities with, real scale, high charity, not just as level but as a living, breathing environment. Cutscenes that carry weight through performance capture, facial details, subtle movements. Not overdone, not overly cinematic, but grounded enough that every conversation feels like it matters. Because Halo 2 wasn't about just a war, it was about the perspective. And that's something a remake could highlight even more now. See, gameplay is where things get pretty tricky, but also exciting. The original Halo 2 is pretty fast, it's clean, immediate. Weapons feel distinct, encounters are readable, and the sandbox design lets players approach fights in different ways without overcomplicating the whole experience. A remake cannot lose that clarity, but it can evolve the systems around it. Think tighter gunplay that still respects the original feel. Enemy AI that reacts smarter without becoming frustrating. Environments that offer more verticality and interaction without turning every encounter into chaos. The goal wouldn't be like to modernize it into something unrecognizable, but to refine it so that it feels just as good today as it did back then, maybe even better. And there's also the multiplayer. This is where expectations actually skyrocket right now. Halo 2 multiplayer wasn't just popular, it was foundational. Xbox Live, matchmaking, ranking systems, it all exploded here. A full remake would need to treat that legacy pretty carefully, classic maps rebuilt with precision, movement that feels right, not too fast, not too floaty, systems that respect skill while still being accessible. But also, evolution. New models, new modes, maybe better progression, strong anti-cheat. A live environment maybe that doesn't just exist but thrives. Because if the campaign is the heart of Halo 2, multiplayer is like basically the pulse of it. And it has to feel alive. One of the most interesting opportunities with the remake is just simply the tone. The original game had this mix of this military grit and sci-fi scale that felt unique. It wasn't overly serious, but it wasn't light either. It sat in that middle space where everything felt important, but not forced. A remake has to preserve that balance. It can't become too cinematic or too self-aware. It just needs that grounded confidence. Let the world speak, let the action carry meaning. Let the quiet moments exist without trying to fill them, because those quiet moments are what made the big ones hit harder. Now, visually, a full remake would obviously be a massive step up from even the Anniversary Edition. We're talking modern lighting, detailed environments, smoother animations, and scale that feels just real instead of implied. Battles would feel larger, spaces will feel deeper, but again, it's not about throwing detail everywhere, it's about focus. The last entries in the series didn't land the way they needed to be. They tried to modernize, to compete directly with other military shooters, and in doing so, they lost some of what made them pretty unique. And a reboot now cannot make that mistake again. It has to know what it is. and more importantly, what it isn't. And it would also give developers a chance to explore different gameplay styles within the same framework. Close quarters, urban combat, long range, stealth-based infiltrations and stuff, moments of chaos followed by moments of silence. Because pacing is just everything in a game like this. You can't just be loud all the time, you need contrast, you need space. You need those quiet moments where players aren't shooting, but thinking, listening, waiting. That's something a lot of modern shooters have moved away from. Now, technically this reboot has the potential to look and feel incredible. With current hardware and modern engines, environments can be more detailed, more reactive, more immersive than ever before. Destruction systems, lighting, sound design, all of it working together to create a sense of presence that goes beyond the visuals. Gunfire doesn't just sound loud, it echoes, it carries. It feels different depending on where you are. Indoors, outdoors, open terrain, tight corridors. These details matter because they shape how players experience each moment. And if done right, they can make even small encounters feel intense. If the current direction holds, every upgrade should just basically serve the experience, not distract from it. Because Halo 2 works because of how clean it is, and that clarity is something you don't mess with. There's also this question of how much gets expanded in a remake. See, the original game had a famously rushed ending, with parts of the story clearly cut due to time constraint. A remake has the chance to address that, not by rewriting everything, but by restoring ideas that never made it in, extending certain missions, adding connective tissue where it makes sense, giving the story the room it didn't have before. That alone could change how the game is remembered, because as iconic as Halo 2 is, it always felt like it was aiming for something even bigger than what it delivered. A remake could finally close that gap, but that's also where the biggest risk lives. Do too much and you lose the identity. Do too little and it feels unnecessary. So the balance is to be intentional, respect what worked, enhance what didn't, and leave the rest alone. I mean, at the end of the day, Halo 2 Remake isn't just about bringing back a classic, it's about reintroducing a standard, showing what made this game so important in the first place, and proving that those ideas still hold up when they're given the space and technology they deserve. Because Halo 2 wasn't just a moment, it was a turning point. And if this remake ever becomes real, if it's handled with the kind of care and understanding it needs, it won't just be another revisit, it'll be a reminder of how powerful focused design, strong identity, and confident storytelling can still be even now.